Local cat attempts to make a YouTube video. Take 957. So I essentially wanted to look like one of those YouTubers, the ones that make those 5 hour long video essays. But, unfortunately, I don't exactly have a mic stand, and I'm too lazy to set up my mic arm, so working what we got here. So I had essentially this idea of making art vlogs of some sort, in which I essentially record myself drawing, sketching, doing whatever it is that I do on my tablet, all while talking for like 30 minutes to an hour, possibly less than that. Either explaining my art process or whatever it is that I feel like talking about. I need someone to talk to, and since I can't afford therapy, I'd figured oversharing on the internet would be the next best thing. I mean, isn't that what everyone does? No? Just me? Okay then. I'm not entirely sure like how often I'm gonna be making these art vlogs, but I'll try my best to do it, I don't know, once a week. Yeah, sure, I think that'll work. Either way, let's just get started on the video. Let's see if I can actually talk for 30 minutes to an hour. Uh, I guess I could start with the day that I asked myself in the middle of sketching, surprisingly. So, how come you haven't consistently sketched as of recent? And to be honest, I don't have a concrete answer for that. I have two, maybe three possibilities as to why I stopped and even actively hated sketching. The first one was a memory I recently unlocked from my college days, of all things. I remember I was taking drawing classes, and I used to have a sketchbook with me every day. Excited that, I was learning things, mostly fundamentals, but still have fun anyways. I showed my drawing professor all these sketches I had in my notebook, or sketchbook, rather. I forgot what he said in the very beginning, but he did mention in the end something along the lines of, "You're not going to get far with just sketches." I can't really assume his intentions, especially after a decade or so, but I'm guessing he was trying to push me to focus more on finished items. Which, to be fair, I've been focused on doing just that, for better or worse. The second reason as to why I stopped is probably due to social media. I have definitely noticed for more than half a decade, artist feeds were a lot more curated. That's a word I said. As in, they focused on showcasing the final drawing or illustration, and not so much works in progress, or even some doodles they've done. Even some quote unquote rough drawings looked almost like a finished item, at least in my opinion. It's really up to the artist what they want to show online, but I definitely miss seeing works in progress or even the process as to how the final illustration came to be on my feed. Definitely miss that. I think it's I think there's quite a bit of a comeback of showing works in progress and doodles, but still got ways to go. And this is just me assuming, which I do a lot of, but maybe folks started paying extra attention to the algorithm and how it's affecting their interactions. So they probably made the choice to only post what looks aesthetically pleasing. Uh, I think another assumption I have is folks seem to start to use their social media as a portfolio and less of a personal thing, i.e., maybe not talk so much about your favorite series unless it was related to the drawing, and or stop posting pictures of your cat sitting on top of your laptop. Which, to be fair, we should all keep posting cat pictures on the internet. I use them as material to interact with folks online because I sometimes just like to go non-verbal. So, It's a win-win situation for everyone. And then the third and potential reason as to why I stopped sketching so much was life circumstances. I won't get too into detail, but to the 3 people that are viewing this video, you probably know what I've gone through. And if you're the third person that doesn't know, first off, thank you for listening thus far, or have me in the background. Either way, I appreciate it. Second, I have gone from an unstable environment to another unstable environment to another unstable environment, which hindered me to keep drawing consistently and make a name for myself, at least on the internet. With that being a consistent thing for 8 years now, probably more, I still feel like a rookie at drawing from time to time. It feels as if I have a lot to catch up on in regards to anatomy, adapting it to an art style that I'm still developing, learning how to absorb my references, composition, perspective, etc., etc. Essentially, fundamentals. Even though I'm well aware I learn these concepts like at the same time when I'm working on something, it still feels like I'm not. It could also be my self-deprecation and impossible high standards that I set myself. To the surprise of no one. I guess I could add in a fourth reason as to why I stopped sketching so much, which is my carpal tunnel. Or that's what I think it is. I still don't know if it is actually carpal tunnel or just tendonitis, a pull muscle, whatever have you, since I can't afford to see a doctor. The joys of living in the US as an immigrant. All I know is that my left hand, arm, and shoulder are in pain most of the time. Which leads me to a backstory that is going to be way too long, but I do need to fill up time here. So, here we go. Back in 2021, when I used to work at a thrift store, I would sometimes work in the back and start to put on tags on clothes. I guess because of how hard I had to press the tagging gun and how often I had to do it with little to no breaks for like 5 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. I guess my hand was just like, well, this is painful, and started throbbing nonstop for a good chunk of the day. And since I had to work often because I needed to pay bills, I was also a cashier, which also includes using your hand to ring up people. So my hand never caught a break. And then I went towards my arm. And then my shoulder because I'm a side sleeper. The pain, that is. So it was a lot of it. 0 out of 10 do not recommend having carpal tunnel or anything of the sort. I did wear a hand brace throughout the day when I was still using my hands, but inevitably I would take it off because it restricted my movement, which, I mean, that's kind of the point, but I was required to do things at a fast pace. I thought using Tiger Balm often would eliminate the pain, but it didn't. It was just a temporary fix. Which, side note, I still recommend using Tiger Balm for any kind of physical pain you're in, especially the patches, but again, it's a temporary fix, and you still need medical help and or a lifestyle change. Random PSA aside, let's just say that having that job almost destroyed my left hand from doing just about anything. It definitely affected my ability to draw or even attempt as often as I wanted to, since this is definitely around the time I was telling myself I should probably start sketching more if I want to get better. But in the end, I never did it. I was dead set on finished drawing. That definitely needed more time to be worked on now that I look at them and think, oh, whoops. It also didn't help that I wasn't taking care of my hand properly. Like, aside from using Tiger Balm offhand, like I said, I would take off my brace in the middle of doing whatever it is I was doing. I didn't do any wrist exercises. I didn't stretch. I made no effort to alleviate the pain just to make living tolerable. I simply focused on paying my bills and lawyer fees. Nowadays, I wear a hand brace almost every night. I do wrist flow exercises during my breaks from sketching, which the one video that I do recommend if you're having wrist issues is 5 minutes wrist mobility flow, standing or floor by Marsha. And then just overall do upper body stretches, which also like another thing, I force myself to give breaks since I tend to have a habit and work for hours and not give myself time to breathe and stretch. And I kind of, sort of, almost stop blinking too when I'm super focused. Or at least that's how it feels because of how dry my eyes feel after a while. And then I start blinking all of a sudden being like, oh, okay, so I kind of did stop blinking. However, it could also be that I'm staring at the screen so often. So, yeah, those are 3, probably 4 possibilities as to why I stopped sketching so much. I don't ever, I don't think I'll ever get a concrete answer. Now, in the present day, do I sketch often or not at all? And the answer to that is yes. I sketch every day. Sometimes it's the only thing I do, just so I can keep up with the muscle memory I'm developing. And how did that come about? Well, for that, I do have a concrete answer. I want to become a better artist. If I focus on only drawing finished stuff, I spend more time figuring out what I want to do and less time on actually doing it unless I'm rushing myself, for example. There's also a higher chance of me drawing something completely wrong that someone may pick up on later, but I don't at the moment I'm drawing. I.e., maybe the proportions aren't right or the perspective it's not there. And once I started sketching every day, it was a lot easier to pick up exactly what I need to improve on. It's also helping me understand the fundamentals that inevitably I didn't really pay that much attention to in college. And of course, I would end up forgetting once life stuff kept hitting me in the face. I also started to notice how to make sketching fun for me since, learning things should be fun. That's my hot take for the day. And how I made this fun and educational for me was to graph 2 colors that I think were together, maybe a third one, fill up a random shape, and then start drawing the thing I want to focus on first. Like, I don't know, maybe the torso, or the hands, or the arms, and then just start building from there. The one thing that I always try to make sure is that I sketch the head last. I don't know, it's just something that I've started doing. I'm not sure why, but all I know is that the head is usually last. Maybe sometimes the feet, but usually the head. And instead of using the eraser, I just use the background color to fill out unnecessary lines or to start all over again if the anatomy isn't looking right. Another thing that helped me sketch more often is that I stumbled upon a video from Vespertilio named How to Fill a Sketchbook, Time Management, Inspiration, and Prompts, Part 1 out of 2, My Biggest Vice. And she said something along the lines of how a sketchbook can be messy. And, yeah, I've definitely sketched a lot of things that have weird proportions, they look unrealistic, or just don't make sense to the naked eye. Am I going to show the majority of these things? Probably not. Some stuff I have shown here and there on the internet, but as of right now, I'm treating sketching as more of a me time kind of thing. This might change later once I start making more videos and I need more footage to talk over to. And with that, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, this is still an ongoing relationship that I have with sketching that I would like to mend and improve on. If anything, it might be one of the very few things in life that may actually improve. Keyword may. I'm well aware I did not talk for more than 30 minutes, but this video is still going to be that long. I'm just going to stop talking and have you guys listen to Beneath the Mask instrumental version from Persona 5. I'm too lazy to look up copyright-free music. Okay, alright. So, for the two of you that have listened to me ramble thus far, thank you. And have fun watching me sketch a thing or two. Alright, okay, thanks, bye.